Welcome back to the channel. My name is Ryan, and this is Meisner Tactical. Alright, so what a lot of people don't realize or even understand is that guns, like all these, actually retain their value, and many of them actually appreciate in price like an asset. Let's roll on into it. Quick disclaimer, I am not your financial advisor, and I'm not giving you financial advice telling you to buy a certain firearm or to not buy a certain firearm. Just like the stock market, guns will either appreciate or depreciate in price, and a lot of guns do appreciate. That's just due to inflation, people fearing about the next election, etc., etc. There's a lot of reasons guns actually increase in price. Even used guns, they also increase in price a lot. And a lot of times, annually, averagely, we can even say that every single year, your gun will appreciate somewhere between $10 or even up to $100 or more every single year that you own that firearm. But you can just buy a gun just to hold as an asset, or you can even shoot it and it can still increase in price. So there's a lot of good reasons to buy it, to buy a firearm. So I'm gonna say, go ahead and buy that dream firearm that you've been looking for. But first, we're going to take a look at what guns we should avoid completely, because some guns are better than others, and you don't wanna buy a gun when you're planning on selling it and then you lose a ton of money. So we wanna avoid that, because that is a scenario. This is the High Point 995. It's a 9mm carbine. It's a super cheap gun, even still a cheaper gun today. I bought this for about $250, and that was way back in the old days and before COVID, 2018, 2019. And today, used, this gun is worth about $375. And that is a huge increase. Guns really can appreciate in value as an investment. You can shoot them, use them, and still sell them for a pretty penny and get your money back. So don't think about buying a gun as you're losing money completely. Think about it as you're just taking care. You're adopting a firearm, and you're actually gonna make money on it in the future, depending on how long you hold it. If you know of any lost, broken, confused firearms that are in need, please reach out to memoresofficial5@gmail.com, and we will find the perfect home for that firearm. So I'll tell you straight up, it's absolutely the worst whenever you put so much money into your next AR-15 build and then realize that you cannot sell it for what you put into it. It's absolutely the worst. I know I spent maybe $1,200, $1,500 into a 300 blackout custom build, just home build. I say custom like I'm some fancy shop, but I'm not. I sold it at a gun store for about $400, and I had to pay taxes on that, or a fee to the gun store itself. So make sure when you're selling a firearm or buying a firearm that you have intent with it, because otherwise you're just gonna lose money, and we don't want that. First on the list is a home build AR-15. You want to avoid these if you are planning on selling these in the future. These don't hold value at all. These are probably the worst investment you could actually make. Just avoid it. This will be my hottest take of the day, but I'm going to say avoid revolvers. You see, I'm actually not looking for what the revolver market is going to look like next year. I'm thinking way out, 20, 30, 40, 50 years into the future. Are people really going to be buying revolvers? In my opinion, I think we've maxed out the revolver. I don't think the revolver is getting any better. We've thrown 2 barrels on a revolver. We've thrown 10 barrels on a revolver. There's just not a whole lot of room for improvement or innovation. So I would actually avoid revolvers in general. We've talked about some of the guns you should avoid completely, but now it's time for the good part. which guns should you buy that actually retain value and could appreciate down the road and you can sell it for a profit. This first one is absolutely not a firearm yet, but it will be someday. This is an AR-15 stripped lower receiver. These things are always in high demand. Everyone wants a stripped lower receiver. So if you are buying just the stripped lower receiver itself, this will appreciate in value because people will always want to do AR-15 home builds. That's just a thing. So buy these. Next top ticket item to buy will be an assault weapons ban weapon. So what that means, it's one of those California compliant or fixed magazine rifles. Any gun that was designed to survive an assault weapons ban will be valuable in the future. We know there's always people out there that want to take away guns from other people, and politics aside, that only increases the value of these rifles or shotguns or pistols. So any weapon that looks weird, that has some weird safety feature, those are going to be in high demand. So go ahead and buy those for investment purposes. Any name brand firearm that has been known to have really good quality, so that's Glock, Colt, Winchester, Ruger, HK, any name brand firearm that is durable, that people have decided, hey, these firearms are reliable. We like them a lot. They have a good name behind them. Those retain their value well. Doesn't even matter what they are, what they look like, whether it is a revolver, I know what I said earlier, but whether it is a revolver or a rifle or a shotgun, those will always retain their value, so go ahead and buy those. Military surplus firearms. So we're thinking Car 98, M14, 30 carbine, M1 Grand. These firearms will only get more expensive as time goes by. I don't believe most of these manufacturers are going to start up production again. Go ahead and buy them. They're only going to appreciate in price. Even if you use them, people still want them and there is a high demand for them. There are a lot of guns out there that do retain their value and even appreciate. And if you are in the camp of having to create a presentation in front of your spouse or significant other of why you should buy a firearm, I suggest you add this to it. You know, a lot of times you really can sell that firearm for more than you purchased it for, especially if you've held on to it for 10 plus years. I think there is a good argument to make that a firearm can almost be an asset, and it is an asset in many cases. For me personally, I think there's a healthy balance where you can shoot the gun, maybe not as often as you want. You can still get your money back and even more in the future, depending on what you buy. Thank you guys for watching Meisner Tactical. We will see you next time.